Have you ever noticed how some things in life start to fade slowly, almost without warning? At first, it's just a little breathlessness after climbing the stairs, then a mild tightness in the chest while walking, maybe a bit of dizziness, which you blame on a hot day or skipping a meal. But behind these signs, your heart could be whispering for help, and most people don't hear it until it's almost too late. In the United States and much of the world, heart-related diseases are still the #1 cause of death for people over 60. What makes this even more alarming is that nearly 80% of heart attacks strike without any clear symptoms days or even weeks before. The truth is, the majority of seniors who lose their vitality don't go suddenly, they fade slowly. Circulation weakens, blood pressure creeps up, the heart, a muscle that once beat with ease, begins to strain quietly. Energy vanishes, not in one dramatic moment, but day by day. But there is good news. A simple daily habit, grounded in both ancient tradition and modern science, has been shown to support heart health naturally. It doesn't involve expensive medication, invasive procedures, or miracle pills from the internet. In fact, it all starts with something as humble as a leaf. That's right, just one leaf. And no, this isn't folklore or superstition. Recent studies have shown that chewing a specific leaf for just 60 seconds a day can bring measurable benefits to the cardiovascular system, especially for people over 60. Let me ask you something. Take a deep breath right now, hold it for 5 seconds, and slowly let it out. Did you feel lightheaded? Was there a sense of pressure in your chest, or did your legs feel heavy? These could be signs that your heart is struggling to oxygenate your body effectively, and it might be time to pay closer attention to what it's telling you. Here's another common mistake. A lot of older adults attribute these symptoms to normal aging or hot weather. They wait for something dramatic to happen before they take action. But what if you could intervene now with something as accessible as a single leaf? Before we go any further, just know this: what I'm about to show you is not about fads or exaggeration. It's about taking control of your health with a habit that's both natural and supported by scientific research. So if you or someone you love is over 60, what you'll hear in the next few minutes might just be one of the most important health decisions you make this year. That leaf, the one that could support your heart in ways few people know about, comes from the olive tree. Yes, the same tree that gives us olive oil, a staple in Mediterranean diets known for promoting longevity and heart health. But while the oil has received worldwide praise, the leaf of the olive tree has quietly remained in the background, despite holding one of the plant's most powerful compounds, oleuropein. Oleuropein is a natural substance with 3 scientifically recognized effects on the cardiovascular system. First, it helps to reduce inflammation, and inflammation, as studies have shown, is a major driver of heart disease, especially as we age. Second, it acts as an antioxidant, protecting blood vessels from the oxidative stress that leads to plaque buildup. And third, it supports the dilation of blood vessels, helping blood to flow more freely through your body, which in turn reduces the workload on your heart. In a controlled study conducted in Greece, over 250 participants aged 60 and older were asked to chew olive leaves daily for 6 weeks. The result? An average drop of 11 points in systolic blood pressure without any medication adjustments. That's a significant improvement, particularly for those already at risk of heart issues. So how does it actually work when you chew the leaf? Unlike when you swallow a pill or drink a tea, chewing allows active compounds to be absorbed directly into your bloodstream through the mucous membranes in your mouth. This leads to faster and more effective results, especially for older adults whose digestive systems might not process supplements as efficiently as before. It's important to understand that this isn't about replacing your current treatment plan. Rather, it's about adding a natural, evidence-backed routine that enhances your body's own defenses. Think of it as reinforcing the walls of a house that's been through many seasons. The structure is still there, but it needs a bit more support to remain strong and stable. You might be thinking, isn't it enough to eat healthy or walk every day? Those habits are essential, and I encourage them. But as we age, our internal systems lose some of their resilience. What once kept our arteries flexible and our heart rhythm steady now needs extra help. And the olive leaf, through the power of oleuropein, provides that help in a way that's gentle, accessible, and natural. Here's something actionable. If you have access to an olive tree, pick one young, vibrant green leaf, rinse it well, and chew it slowly for about 60 seconds in the morning. If not, you can buy dried olive leaves at many health food stores. Just make sure they're organic and not treated with chemicals. It may taste bitter at first, but that bitterness is where the healing lives. Over time, many people even grow to appreciate it. There's a mistake many older adults make, waiting until symptoms become severe to try something new. But the most powerful changes happen quietly, long before emergencies. Taking control of your heart health today with a simple habit like chewing a leaf can keep you out of the emergency room tomorrow. As days turn into weeks and you continue this simple routine, chewing one olive leaf each day, subtle shifts begin to happen inside your body. Many people report feeling lighter, more alert, and less tired after just a few days. That's not magic, it's biology. When blood flows more freely, your brain receives more oxygen. Your legs don't swell as much. Your heart doesn't need to fight as hard to do its job. And that means more energy, more clarity, and more ease in daily movements. Over time, the benefits become even more tangible. Blood pressure levels begin to stabilize. Your heart rate in moments of rest becomes calmer. Your circulation improves, especially in the extremities. Hands and feet no longer feel cold without reason. And if you've experienced that dull pain in the legs while walking, known as claudication, that too often begins to fade. But here's something most people don't realize. What we call aging is, in large part, just the accumulation of untreated inflammation and weak circulation. These two factors are behind many of the complaints we associate with getting old: fatigue, forgetfulness, dizziness, even mood swings. By supporting your cardiovascular system, you're not just helping your heart, you're helping your entire body function better. So how exactly does this leaf help all of that? The answer lies again in oleuropein. This compound not only protects the blood vessels, but also helps prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the type that clogs arteries and leads to heart attacks. Studies have shown that oleuropein can reduce LDL oxidation by up to 35, acting like a shield for your arteries. It also plays a key role in improving the flexibility of your arteries. As we age, arteries naturally become stiffer, making it harder for the heart to pump blood efficiently, but oleuropein helps preserve elasticity, allowing vessels to expand and contract more easily, reducing strain on the heart. Now, one common mistake many older adults make is abandoning the habit after a few weeks simply because they feel better. They assume the problem is gone. But feeling better doesn't mean you're finished. It means what you're doing is working. The real strength of this habit lies in consistency. Like brushing your teeth or drinking water, it's something you do not just for a result, but for maintenance to protect what you've earned. Here's another tip. Choose one moment in your day to associate with chewing the leaf. Maybe it's after your morning coffee. Maybe it's after brushing your teeth. Make it easy to remember. Keep a few washed leaves in a small container in the refrigerator. Set a daily reminder on your phone if you need to. Over time, this small ritual becomes automatic, and the benefits become a quiet but powerful part of your life. Remember, your body wants to heal. Your heart wants to beat well, and you have more control than you think. Sometimes the most powerful medicine is the one that's been quietly waiting for us to notice, hanging from a tree, full of life. So now that you understand the powerful effects of the olive leaf, the question becomes, how do you do this the right way? Because as simple as it sounds, small mistakes can reduce or even cancel the benefits. And when it comes to your heart, precision matters. First, let's talk about the leaf itself. If you're using fresh olive leaves, look for the younger ones, bright green, soft, and free of any spots or damage. These tend to have higher levels of active compounds. If you're buying them dried, make sure they're organic and sold by a reputable source. Avoid anything overly processed, bleached, or artificially scented. You're not looking for tea leaves here, you want the whole, natural leaf. Once you have the leaf, wash it gently in cold water. Then, simply chew it slowly for about 60 seconds. Not 5, not 10, 60. Let the juices mix with your saliva. This is important. The compounds inside the leaf, especially oleuropein, begin breaking down in the mouth. That's where absorption starts, through the tissues under the tongue and inside the cheeks, directly into the bloodstream. Now here's something critical. Don't swallow the leaf. After chewing it thoroughly, spit it out. Your body has already absorbed what it needs. Swallowing it, especially in large pieces, can be hard on the digestive system and may cause mild stomach irritation in some people. This is not about digestion, it's about immediate absorption. The best time of day to do this? Morning. Ideally on an empty stomach, about 20 to 30 minutes before your first meal. That's when your system is most receptive and there are fewer substances competing for absorption. If you forget, don't stress. Just do it when you remember. Consistency over time matters more than perfection every day. Now let's say chewing isn't your thing. The taste is too bitter or the texture bothers you. There's another option, olive leaf tea. It's milder in flavor, easier to sip, and still offers benefits. But it must be done correctly. Never boil the leaves directly in water. High heat destroys oleuropein. Instead, bring water just to the point before boiling, turn off the heat, and steep 2 leaves for about 10 minutes. Cover the cup so the beneficial oils don't evaporate, but even then, remember this, chewing is more effective. The enzymes in your saliva begin the absorption process much earlier than your stomach ever could. So if you can handle the taste, stick with the original method. One error to avoid, sweetening the tea. Many older adults add sugar or honey to mask the bitterness, but doing that can counteract the anti-inflammatory effects and raise blood sugar levels unnecessarily. If the taste is too strong, add a drop of lemon juice. Instead, it complements the natural bitterness and can actually enhance the leaf's effect. A final word on frequency. This is not something you do for a week and stop. It's a lifelong addition to your routine, just like walking, hydrating, or sleeping well. You're not chasing a miracle. You're creating a foundation, one chew at a time, that supports your heart as it carries you through the years ahead. You might be wondering now, does this really work for everyone? Is there real science behind it, or is it just another health trend? Let's talk about what the research says, because facts matter, especially when we're dealing with the health of people over 60. Several scientific studies from respected institutions have looked closely at the olive leaf and its active compounds, particularly oleuropein and hydroxytyrosol. One clinical trial, published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, followed adults over 60 who took controlled doses of olive leaf extract daily. After 8 weeks, researchers noted a consistent drop in LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that clogs arteries, by up to 35%. But beyond cholesterol, there were measurable improvements in arterial elasticity and overall blood vessel function. Another study, conducted at the University of Palermo in Italy, took this further. They compared 2 groups, one taking standard heart medication and another combining medication with a daily intake of olive leaf extract. The group using the olive leaf showed better results in terms of blood pressure control and inflammatory markers. Even the doctors involved were surprised by how powerful the combination of nature and medicine could be. Now, let me be clear, this doesn't mean you should replace your medications. That would be irresponsible and dangerous. But it does show that the olive leaf can be a strong ally working alongside what your doctor has prescribed, not against it. What we're talking about here is complementary care, supporting the body naturally while respecting the foundations of medical science. Let's also talk about something else that matters: oxidative stress. As we age, our bodies accumulate damage from free radicals, unstable molecules that attack healthy cells. This process leads to inflammation, plaque buildup, and eventually heart disease. Oleuropein, found in high concentrations in olive leaves, neutralizes these free radicals before they cause harm. It's not just about slowing aging, it's about reducing the silent damage that leads to disease. There's also evidence that the olive leaf supports the endothelial lining of your arteries. That's the delicate inner surface where blood flows. When that lining is inflamed or damaged, blood can't move freely. This is when pressure builds up. The heart has to work harder. Over time, it weakens. But when the endothelium is healthy, the entire system becomes more efficient, more relaxed. That's the hidden magic of a habit like this. It doesn't just work on the surface, it goes deep. Now, one common mistake older adults make is assuming that because something is natural, it must be harmless or universally safe. That's not always the case. While olive leaf is considered safe for most people, those taking blood pressure medication, blood thinners, or insulin should speak to their doctor before starting. The goal isn't to risk interaction, it's to create a routine that supports the body intelligently. So here's a practical step. Before you begin, write down the medications you currently take and bring the idea of the olive leaf to your next doctor's visit. Say clearly, I've read research about the cardiovascular effects of oleuropein contain in olive leaves. Would this interfere with what I'm taking? A responsible doctor will appreciate your initiative and help you decide the best way to proceed, and that's the real message here. It's not about shortcuts or quick fixes. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge, building small habits, and working with your body, not against it. Because your health isn't a lottery, it's a garden. And the olive leaf is just one of the seeds you can plant. Oh, chat goat dis, let me tell you a story. Not a scientific paper, not a list of numbers, but a real story, the kind that stays with you. Her name is Lucia, 72 years old, from a small town where everyone knows each other by name. A few years ago, she began noticing that everyday tasks were getting harder. Walking up the hill to church made her short of breath. She stopped cooking because she felt too tired standing by the stove. Her hands, once steady and precise, began trembling just enough to make her avoid knitting, her favorite pastime. And at night, she lay awake, listening to her heartbeat too fast for no reason. She visited her doctor, who confirmed what she feared. Her blood pressure was rising and her heart was under stress. Medication helped, but not enough. Lucia wasn't just afraid of a heart attack, she was afraid of losing herself, of slowly fading into a version of life where she couldn't walk to her neighbor's house, couldn't play with her grandchildren, couldn't live without help. It was her daughter who brought her the first olive leaf. She had read something, maybe an article, maybe a video like this one, and told Lucia, just try. It's only 1 minute a day, so she did. At first, the taste bothered her, bitter, earthy, foreign, but she kept going. One leaf every morning, chewed slowly. In silence, weeks passed. She didn't notice the changes at first, but then one day, walking to the market, she realized she hadn't needed to stop halfway. Her breathing was steady. The heaviness in her chest was gone. Later, she went back to cooking. She said her hands felt stronger. Her sleep improved. Her thoughts were clearer. Her heart that once raced with effort now beat calmly, evenly, confidently. At her next checkup, her doctor looked at the numbers and raised his eyebrows. "What did you change?" he asked. Lucia smiled and said, "A leaf. Just one. Every day." Now, she still takes her medication. She still checks in regularly. But she no longer lives in fear. She no longer waits for the worst. She walks, she cooks, she laughs, and she tells every woman at church about the olive leaf. This isn't to say that Lucia's story is a guarantee. Everyone's body is different, but her story is a reminder of something we often forget, that the body is always trying to heal, always trying to balance itself, if we give it the right support. One mistake many people make is waiting for things to get bad before they act. They ignore the signs, the fatigue, the poor circulation, the irregular sleep because they think that's just age. But what if it's not just age? What if it's a signal? And what if that signal could be answered with something as small, as natural as a leaf? If you take anything away from this, let it be this: your health doesn't disappear overnight. It fades, slowly, silently, unless you take small, steady action. Not with fear, not with panic, but with quiet strength, with consistency, with care. Maybe right now, you're sitting quietly in your kitchen or lying in bed thinking about the people you love, your children, your grandchildren, the friends you've shared decades with, the moments you still want to live, the birthdays, the Sunday lunches, the weddings, the simple conversations over coffee. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's a fear, a quiet one, that you might not be there for all of it, that your body might begin to betray you, quietly, day by day, until suddenly the life you know and love becomes harder to live. That fear is real, and it's shared by millions of people over 60. It's not just the fear of illness, it's the fear of fading, of losing independence, of becoming invisible. But here's the truth that too many people forget. You still have power. Every single day, you have the chance to shape how you age, how you feel, and how you show up for the people you love. A single habit, done consistently, becomes a form of resistance, a declaration. You are not giving up your health without a fight. You are not surrendering to fatigue and forgetfulness and fear. You are not becoming a passive passenger in your own story. Chewing a leaf may seem small, but think about what it represents. It's a minute you give to your future, a minute of presence, a minute of care, and over weeks, months, years, that minute becomes a pattern. It becomes strength. It becomes life. The olive tree, after all, is a symbol of resilience. It thrives in rocky soil. It survives harsh summers and dry seasons. And yet, it keeps growing, producing, offering life. That's what you are doing. to choosing to grow stronger, even in the later chapters of life. Choosing to nourish your heart, not just in a physical way, but in a deeply human one. Because your heart is not just a muscle, it's the center of your memories, your emotions, your courage, and if you're still wondering whether to start, here's a final thought. The most dangerous thing you can do is nothing. The most damaging choice is the one you postpone. Time doesn't stop, but it can work with you if you take that first step. If you choose to believe that your future health is not out of your hands, so try it. Chew the leaf, take the minute, build the habit. And when someone asks what changed, you'll have an answer not just in words, but in the way you walk, breathe, move, live. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll pass the habit on to someone else. Because health, like wisdom, is something we can share, and a life lived in strength is never lived alone.